Alright. Well, I haven't really made a video in a while, partially because my mount for my phone broke. A piece of plastic broke on it, and that piece connected to a rubber piece, and that doesn't work anymore. It's okay. I was going to put it back up, and then it just fell again. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to lose my phone out the window one day or something. So I'll just end up having to buy a new one. Anyways, I've been YouTubing a lot. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about the past, about the present, and then eventually about the future. What's going to happen? A lot of people have been worried for years that the world's going to maybe come to an end, or an end as we know it. And I get worried too. I have a family, friends, a life, and it gets worrisome because it's one of those you never know what's going to happen kind of things, and you don't know like what the powers that be could be possibly doing to change the world in a very dramatic way. Now, as a human, we always think things are going to be so abrupt. Everything's going to come to a crashing halt, and everything's going to change for the worst, usually. Now, on the other hand, could things change very, very slowly, and then we would never know? So I'm looking at all these different things, and one of those things that I've been seeing is that if you move very slowly, it isn't noticed by the public what's really going on. Now, I hope that mankind as a whole, the majority, aren't really doing any things that are going to hurt us. Maybe some things unintentionally, hurt us. Sometimes it's on purpose. I can't go to this guy's station. Like the whole cell phone idea. The government's giving out free phones. I'm trying to figure out why does the government want us to have phones? The conspiracy theorist starts to think control. That's the number one thing that from the beginning of civilization, there's been someone trying to control the rest. There's been the small few control the masses. So how do you control people? Keep them sedated, in essence. You keep your patients hooked up on drugs, so they'd be, they're maintained a certain level. Now, the whole point of all this is that we don't seem to really see what's going on, and then because I keep getting different opinions and theories and ideas about what's really going on, and I don't want it to be this way. I really don't. But it just keeps seeming is that we're slowly being put under a tighter and tighter reins, so that we as a people, cannot overthrow a government if we don't have power. Our power is in our numbers. Our power is in our knowledge of what the hell is really going on. And now, see, you got YouTube that is just full of propaganda. It's full of fake things and ideas and this research and that research and everything else. And it's like it's hard to really kind of take it all apart and really figure out what's truth and what's a lie. And I guess the only thing that I'm really starting to worry about is that could the government really do something that could affect us all, a dramatic change that we would just let happen. And that's what I'm worried about. Are we so docile now? I mean, you watch the movie The Patriot, for example. A father, he had X amount of children, 6 kids or something, took off and said, I gotta go defend my country. Here, stay here with your aunt. Left, took off, kicked ass, helped out. How many people nowadays could actually say that? Now, he was, ex-military and everything else, so that makes it's a little different because he has the skill sets and the ability to maybe help a little bit better than like an average guy, like myself. But that's the whole thing. Still, he had that mindset of, I'm gonna help my country. I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep everything afloat. Now, so many of us nowadays are just concerned about that paycheck, the day-to-day grind and everything else. So we're not really like sitting here, oh my gosh, I'm gonna take up arms. I'm gonna defend my country. Now, maybe there probably are a lot of people that will, or should I say would, but it just scares me how many of us are just like, if something crazy happened, we would just kind of bow down to whatever it was, and not risk our lives for this freedom that we feel like we have, because we have freedoms, but slowly they're being taken away. The more control they have over us. I look at it kind of like in a double-sided kind of way. If you want to be productive as a society, there needs to be structure. Just like a normal human being needs structure in their development when they're growing up. They need structure when they're an adult. They need structure is that thing that makes things productive. And I can almost see why the powers that be want to put restrictions on everybody, and why they want to pull back the reins. Because we as a people, as a human race, we're very violent. We're very emotional. We do things on a whim. We don't take our time and plan and whatever. So like the fact that the powers that be want to strike us down and say, hey, you need to follow these directions and do things this way. It's just a matter of an opinion, how they think it is, but they have the power to influence. They have the power to push all the pieces into place. So it's just kind of a messed up situation, because we don't always have, and probably most of the time don't have, a say in what really goes on. Are we all educated enough and informed enough to make critical decisions that are correct, and we are informed, we are knowledgeable, whatever else? Most people don't have all the knowledge. I mean, just like I've seen Trump supporters, for example, I hate to always use them as an example, but that's the most recent, types of people that literally have all these biases, and they're attached to things that don't make sense. Oh, women, America's great. We treat women with equality, and then they're the guy beating their wife, or they're the guy calling, when women all these derogatory names and treating them like shit. I don't want a woman president, they say, because of A, B, and C, but it's all about freedom here. It's all about, I saw this video on people that just don't get it, and it's wanting Trump or not, if he has good ideas or not, hey, all politicians are just screwy and got their baggage and everything else. But it's not that I don't want Trump to win because of the reasons why most people think. It's just, I just don't want a president that's going to do a bunch of negative stuff, get us into more wars. I want more peace. I want more, hey, this guy was able to talk to other countries, and they trusted him, and we helped them, they helped us. It was all great. Not like, oh, these guys are, whoever it is that comes in, if it's Hillary or not, because either one could do this. But, let's start more wars. Let's try to push our influence all around the whole country, all around the whole world, so we could be on top. And that's the thing too, people don't get. If you really sit back and research all the shit that we've done over all these years as an American country, we've done some shady ass shit, but in the name of freedom, in the name of being on top. If you don't want to be on top, if you want to live a just life and everything else, maybe move to another country, because this country is not built on all these things that we say that we are built on. We are built on espionage. We are built on secrecy. We are built on power. We have the power, and we maintain it. To maintain that power, like any rulers have in the past, you have to use force, a lot of force. And what do we got? A lot of military, a lot of technology, a lot of money, And sometimes I'm starting to realize more and more that it's not even really like the USA. It's that it's these certain powerful types. I don't even need to name any names. Do your research. Who are the top 5 most influential, most powerful people or families in the world? Look at them, research them, look at their histories. They control everything. So when I say control, it's kind of like it's like a big, huge, like they have a board on a table. It's the map of the world, and they have all these pieces, and they have like a long stick, and they push the pieces into place, push the pieces into place. It takes money, it takes influence, it takes power, it takes intelligence, it takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning. Push pieces, push pieces, push pieces. Now the outcomes, they don't know the outcome until they try it. Boom, pushed it in. Okay, it worked. It worked how we planned. Why? Because they've studied the past. They have a formula. They know exactly what they're doing. And if it doesn't work out, then they try another angle, another angle, another angle. When you start to find out that some families, they were paying both sides of a war, paying the people on both sides to do certain things, like of the Napoleon, the War of Napoleon, one of the big ones he was in, I forget what it was called, the Napoleonic War or some shit. When you're backing both sides, you're not on a team. You're not looking out for anybody but your own interests. Now, on the other hand, are they looking at the betterment of the world? Are they looking at, hey, we need this to make sure that we are, as a human race, productive and continue on? Because people don't always see it as that. People see it as they're just trying to control us, and it's their way or nothing. But in reality, as humans, we tend to, it seems like, need to be led. And in essence, these people are pretty good rulers. They may not be fair, and they may not be truthful, because let's see what everybody wants, and let's do that. Because if we did it what everybody wanted, it would be too split. There's too many different ideas. There's too many different this and that. So for us to think that democracy would be the ultimate, you would have to set up. So it would take so much work to set up a society, even on the world, the world, to make it to where it was fair and even, and we got what we wanted. But on the other hand, there's too many conflicting ideas that it wouldn't work. You can't have this over here and then have this over here and have them both work together. It doesn't work like that. So someone has to choose, and those tough decisions are made by the people on top. And so it's really all comes down to it's a double-edged sword, as I like to say. It's my cliche saying that I use all the time, because that's life. Life is always, there's the black, there's the white, and then there's the gray area right in the middle. The gray area is where you have to make the tough decisions and figure out what's the best for everybody. And it may not be nice, it may not be easy, it may not be what everybody wants. But sometimes, like things like, say, communism and socialism, things that they thought were such a good idea. Hundreds and maybe even thousands of years of philosophy being were created, philosophies of how to treat people and what we want, what we need, what we should have. All this comes down to, having the perfect societies don't work, because there's always people on top. There's always powers that just push everyone else around. To make everybody equal, it's almost like just a dream. It's almost not possible. Like I said, unless you pushed everything into place and everyone came to an agreement that this is what we wanted. But no one has that. No one has that idea yet, it seems. Like I've seen stuff, and we should look this up too. There's this I think it was a scientist or something. He was creating this idea of no money. No money. Take away so many problems. If there was no money, we didn't need money to buy things. We just went and got them and stuff. We wouldn't have theft. We wouldn't have wars over this and that. We would just have, production. But then what are we motivated by? Because people are motivated by money. That's one of the biggest things. Security, safety. Women look for men sometimes that can provide for them. Sometimes they go out and get it themselves, and then vice versa. Some men, you actually use women that are very productive and very good at what they do and getting money and providing for their family or for their relationship or whatever. So, long story short, 15 seconds left here. what really is the best idea, what really is what we should do, and what ideas do you have? Because in my opinion, we almost don't know what we really need.